This video is sponsored by Magic Mind. Hey everyone, welcome back to Reissued. If you're new here, my name is Andrew. Today we are back in the studio for the first time in a while, not as a part of the ongoing makeover in here, but to actually create some art, which is what the space is intended for. It's been a minute since I've done a mixed media portrait video here on my channel, partly because I've been so busy with other projects, but also because it feels a bit daunting sometimes to find a way to change up my work. I want to keep it interesting to you as the viewer watching my creation process, I want to keep it interesting to me as the one that's creating the art, and I want to keep it interesting to anyone that's just viewing the art. I don't want to feel like I'm always doing the same thing on repeat. So every time I revisit my artistic process, I aim to make some changes, to have some new things in mind so that things come out looking different than they did before and that I can still be excited about pressing forward with something new. So in this video, I'm staying true to form. I went back to Goodwill and I got a bunch of little thrifted pieces of art that I think would do better with the makeover. And I'm going to be creating some portraits on those, sharing the process with you, and also be sharing some thoughts and some advice on how to change up your work, how to change up your process, so that you can continue to find depth and variety and joy in the pieces that you're making. We have a lot to do, we have a lot to talk about, so let's jump on in. So before we get started, my first thought and my first piece of advice here is that it's okay to continue to be inspired by the same topics, the same concepts, the same mediums. A professor of mine in college who taught me a lot about choreography said that she felt sometimes that she was making the same piece over and over again, just in different forms. And when you look at really famous and amazing and successful artists, like how many flowers did Georgia O'Keeffe paint? How many Marilyns did Andy Warhol create? With repetition, we get more practiced and we get better. And the more we lean into the things that we love, the deeper we can dive and the more that we can discover. So if you're out there and you're feeling anxiety about wanting to do the same thing over and over again, don't sweat it, we're in good company. Alright, so we're getting ready to get started here. I did what I always do and I went on Google and I found some vintage photograph portraits that I thought were really interesting. I started with more of a general search and then I found more of a pattern of things that I was liking. So my second tip here for finding variety in your work is to really lean into whatever's happening in your life at the moment, kind of how you're feeling, what the mood is. It's been really rainy here in Georgia for like the past 3 days. The sun just came out when I started filming this video. But yeah, the mood has been kind of gloomy, both in the weather and also personally. So we're leaning into that today. So as I chose images, I was looking for portraits that felt kind of moody and a little bit gloomy and had a really strong black and white kind of contrast. I often find portraits in black and white anyway, but I was looking for things that had shadows and really nice graphic black and white shapes. So I went ahead and followed my standard process here and blew up these images on rasterbaiter.net. I printed them out on a standard inkjet printer with really basic printer paper. I'm not looking to do anything too fancy or too high quality here. We're gonna layer on top of these a lot, so we can start with a pretty basic image. First step here is to go in with my beloved Mod Podge and just lay these down on top of the pieces that I found from Goodwill. I'm not sure yet. Usually I do a lot of tearing away on the images to show what's underneath. I think on these ones I might leave a lot of it intact because I have plans to layer a lot of other things on top. But let's put away expectations and just see what happens in the process. So as I get started here, of course, I'm gonna let the materials that I've chosen speak to me and kind of go with the flow. But I'm thinking right off the bat that we're gonna keep these super monochromatic, very black and white, or maybe slightly sepia tone kind of vibes. I just really wanna stay in that monochromatic, moody place to kind of reflect what feels present for me right now. And so even though as artists, there are certain aspects of our process that are constant, maybe the materials that we work with, maybe the subjects that we like, life is constantly changing, everything is constantly in flux. So really tapping into what's happening now is a good way to find variety and to find an emotional depth as well, I think. All right, so I just finished up the first pass on these. As always, there's some surprises that come along in the process that are just too good to pass up. So my unplanned surprise tip number 3 is just to remain open to the process. Controlling every aspect of the process can lead to obvious choices and sameness. So when you're looking to change things up, leaving things up to chance can be a great way to get there. Again, almost every time I do this process, I go in with certain preconceived notions about what things are gonna look like, and then I get midway through and things are looking really different already. So let me show you. All right, so with these guys, no real surprises here. I did what I do a lot of the time, pulling some of the paper up to reveal some of what's happening underneath. Nothing too crazy so far. On this one here, I started ripping away at his like chest and throat a little bit. I wanted to explore doing some layering and sort of feel like there's a hole in the picture and sort of what that leads to. So I thought he was a good candidate for that. And then over here with this guy, this was the bottom of the image before, and I was planning to have it go up on the frame and show his face and everything. I framed it out that way so that he would fit within the whole frame here. But after I went in, the seam was right along the bottom of the canvas there. And then I started pressing the paper into the frame to really try to capture that texture. And I thought it was really nice to leave the frame as is at the bottom and to feel like he's emerging from the frame and then bleeding onto the frame. And we're back. I set this project aside for a minute and I'm now coming back to it. We've moved from the studio to the kitchen since the studio floor is covered in the PAX wardrobe doors right now. I'm juggling so many different projects and videos right now. I'm leaving for Chicago this weekend. I'm gonna be dancing there for 2 months at Lyric Opera of Chicago. So much going on right now, but I'm staying productive and sane thanks to Magic Mind. Magic Mind is a productivity shop that offers calm energy, focus, clarity of mind, emphasis on calm. I still drink my cup of coffee in the morning, but I find that if I have too much coffee, too much caffeine, that I just feel all over the place. Studies show that procrastination has more to do with stress and anxiety than it does to do with being lazy. And so that anxious feeling, I just feel sometimes really debilitated by that, and thus I procrastinate. So in addition to time-released caffeine with L-theanine, Magic Mind contains ashwagandha and rhodiola rosea, which work to decrease stress and anxiety, which we love. When I can really focus and stay on task, I find it's easier to feel productive and to feel that creative flow happen throughout the day, rather than feeling like I have to motivate myself and rev myself up for each individual task. If you want to overcome overwhelm and procrastination in your creative process, click the link down in the description to get 1 month of Magic Mind for free, and use my code REISSUED20 to receive 20% off the rest of your 3-month supply. This offer is only going until February 10th, so go ahead and do that now. Alright, so we found a flow, I have some ideas, we're jumping back into our artwork here. Tip number 4 here is to find new combinations of materials. I've pulled out a number of things that you might have seen here on the channel before. I have the Banana Republic printed tissue paper, I have the vintage dictionary and the vintage To Dance to Dream book that I found in the trash at the REISSUED. I also picked up this sort of sepia tone stock image that came in a picture frame at the REISSUED. I of course have my vintage patterns that have that nice transparent element, and I also have some white tissue paper, black tissue paper that I think it could be fun to explore with. Basically, these are things that I've had on hand that I've used on other projects, and I'm wondering how would it be to apply these to my artwork as well. I'm feeling excited about that. It feels like there's possibility there. And this leads me right into tip number 5, asking yourself what was unexplored last time. I find that in creative process, I have so many ideas at the beginning, and then as we go along, we have to edit, right? We want to find a nice, clear focus to move forward. And so as we edit, there's so many good ideas that are left on the cutting room floor that we have yet to sort of really fully dive into or explore. And so certain ideas that I had with the vintage dictionary or with the tissue paper, certain things that I was on the precipice of discovering, I feel like I'm picking up right where I left off on those, picking those up off the cutting room floor and putting them back on a new piece of art to see how they work. It's also interesting to think about with your most recent work, what were your favorite parts of that work? What were the things that felt new and exciting that you really wanted to push even further? And so for me this time, I want to play around with even more layering, even more transparency and translucency in the things that I'm layering up, and combining elements of a more collage style into this portrait style that I already have. Tip number 6 is to take inspiration from news sources. I was at the Atlanta REISSUED a couple weeks ago and I came across this like bulldog collage situation. Not a big fan of this piece as a whole, not a big fan of the subject matter, but I really like the technique that's used here to kind of use these various collage pieces to create the image by matching the general value or lightness or darkness of each section with the corresponding area on the image, if that makes sense. So I experimented with this myself, taking some of the lighter areas of the book, some of the darker areas of the map, and placing them on top of the faces to both enhance the contrast of the image and to add that collage texture. It took a little bit of trial and error to figure out the best way to do this, but some combination of placing the piece on top and trying to lift it up and find that edge, and also using some tracing paper to sort of roughly trace the image and give that as an outline to start, ended up working pretty well. So I've spent a fair bit of time fiddling around with different layout options on these. Still not sure how things are gonna work out, but I think I need to start gluing some of this down and moving forward. Especially with the tissue paper pieces, it's hard to know exactly how transparent they're gonna be. Right now these look pretty busy, but I suspect with the transparency, it's all gonna melt together a little bit better. Also, we got the pack stores out of the studio, so we're back in here. I feel a little bit more organized. So I'm gonna turn on some music, find a flow, and see what happens. I wasn't sure that I was going to do any painting on these, but I am going to go in with some acrylics, which brings me to tip number 7. Use what you know to work with what you don't know. There's a lot of new elements that I've been working with so far that feel pretty unfamiliar, but going in with washes of acrylics at this point does feel very comfortable for me. You know I love to wash burnt umber over everything to give it that kind of aged look. I'm not going to be doing too much with color here. I just want to kind of meld everything together, enhance the highlights with some white, deepen the shadows with some black, and of course that burnt umber is going to kind of bring everything together and give that aged look. That brings me to my 8th and final thought here, finding feeling in the ordinary. The thing that was so beautiful to me about these materials, especially the book pages, is that kind of aging paper look. Maybe I'm the only one, but I'm really drawn to antique and vintage and historic, partly for that kind of aged, lived-in feel, and there's something so beautiful to me about paper when it starts to kind of yellow. And it's funny, recently I was going through the guest room and getting rid of some old stuff, and going through a bunch of old notes and like sentimental moments that I used to have hanging on my wall in my apartment, and I came across this ticket to an opera that I had choreographed. It felt like a really big moment for me to have my name with choreographer next to it on the ticket, and so I had that framed for a while, and as I pulled it out of the frame, I realized how yellowed the paper had become. Sometimes I think of yellowed paper as being really old and of a time before me, and it's funny to see something in the relatively recent past from 2018 coming back in my life looking yellowed and old, and it sort of made the passage of time, which tends to feel like a very abstract concept, feel very present for me. Not too long from now, we'll look back at this moment and it will feel like it's in the past, it will be yellowing. And so I really wanted to show that natural yellowing of the paper and enhance that where I could to give that effect, to kind of show that passage of time and that nostalgic feel. Alexa, how do you spell verdigris? Alexa, no. Alexa, how do you spell verdigris? No. Alexa, how do you spell verdigris? Ah! Alright everybody, these pieces are complete and I'm super excited about how they turned out. It's always a bit of a crapshoot when I come into a video like this, especially where I'm giving advice. It feels like, I hope it turns out well so that it gives some credibility to the things that I'm talking about. But going into this video, the goal was to push myself in a new direction and to find a new variation on the portrait work that I love. And I feel like I really accomplished that. I've set off in a new direction and I'm really excited to revisit this again and push it even further. At the time this video goes live, all 5 of these pieces will be available for purchase on my website, so go check them out if you want to make a purchase. And don't forget to check out Magic Mind to find your own creative flow. Again, 1 month free and 20% off the rest of your 3-month supply with my code REISSUED20. That promotion only goes through February 10th, so don't miss out on that. If you like this video, be sure to like this video. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys soon.